right where you belong. Give it strength to carry on. Open your heart, set your mind at ease. Live your life and you'll be free. We're gonna rise, rise, rise. Keep on rising, rise, rise, rise. Keep on rising,
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Toon Review YouTube channel for tonight's Carabao Cup preview. Of course, it's Chelsea versus Newcastle United at St James's Park this time and not at Stamford Bridge. So welcome, everybody. My name is Paul, and I'm joined by Alex and Sam. Billy is running late. He will join us at some point, though. I'm not sure what he's up to, but, well, take your own guesses. Anyway, if you do enjoy tonight's show, please give it the thumbs up as per usual. And, of course, if you're new to the channel and you're liking what you see, please do subscribe. Very close to 33,000 now, guys. Inching there, but hopefully we'll get there before the month is out. You can support the channel in the usual two ways. Join membership if you would like to support the channel that way. Hit the join button just underneath the three of us. And, of course, super chats are available, which is the $sign under the live chat. And that will guarantee your comment to be read out on the show. We do have a couple of super chats early doors. K-Max, thank you very much for yours. Hi, everyone. We are heading to the game from Scotland tomorrow. My daughter's first Newcastle game. Hopefully, we can finally get another win. DK35, thank you for your super chat. Oddie Hall, Tino wing backs, Kelly Byrne, Kraft the back three, Tonali 6 with Willock, Bruno 8, Almiron 10 playing off Isak. So 5-4-1 diamond with attacking wing backs. We know how much Alex loves the diamond. Daniel Wheatley, welcome to Members Club. Thank you very much for signing up and for your continued support. And James Ellison, who's been a member for 28 months on the channel. Thank you, James. I'm afraid to say the writing is on the wall with Eddie Howe. He is saying all the wrong things about the team rather than what is actually true. Good evening, colleagues.
Good evening.
Hola.
I just want to start with one thing that Eddie did actually say in his press conference, which did baffle a lot of people, was that obviously Jordan Cronin, big hats off to him, by the way, for asking finally a question regarding set pieces and corners, which hats off to you, Jordan. You listen to the fans and you ask the question. So, you know, we criticize when we don't get the questions, but absolutely praise of Jordan Cronin today for asking the questions that the fans wanted. So well done, mate. He did say that the set pieces and corners down to a lack of height. Now, I find that astounding when we have a 6'25" defender in Dan Burn, Alex.
Yeah, so there's an added context required for that answer.
I bloody hope there is.
There is most certainly. He was referencing that there are missing personnel that add additional height to make it more difficult to overall mark and defend the set pieces. So it's very obvious. It's basically like when you have Andy Carroll. It's like, well, the ball's obviously going to that bloke there. Whereas when we've got a Botman and a Lascelles and, you know, when we've got and Wilson as well, we've got other people who are a lot more competent in the box, good at aerial duels and things like that. It then makes it harder. It's more difficult to mitigate as an opponent, to plan for that, because we could do it a number of ways. We did used to involve Botman a lot in set pieces as well. And Burn would play then as well because he was playing at left back. So we'd have different attacking threats from offensive set pieces. So he's got a very valid point. And of course he does. He's the manager. He knows a lot more than we do. So it's more about the lack of overall personnel available. He wasn't just saying we're missing height as a general thing. It's more about it's obvious where the ball's going a lot of the time.
Alex, I think you need to put your main mic on, mate. You sound a bit echoey there, buddy. I'm not sure whether your mic's on.
Yeah.
That sounds better. No, you're muted now, Alex. It's just a test.
You should be able
Oh,
to hear
there
me.
he is. There he is. Yes. Sam, he did, fair play to Jordan for asking the questions. But it was a bit strange. His answers, some of his answers today, like people have said in the chat, they were a little bit perplexing.
Aren't they always? I think he's the master of ambiguity and his media training, clearly. I love that we don't get to know a lot and learn absolutely nothing, but we continue to hang off every word he says, hoping for a glimpse of something. I think we did get a little bit more, and probably thanks to the questions being asked. But we keep on saying this. The fans want answers, and sometimes we don't get them either because people don't want to lose a press pass, or they don't want to be looked upon unfavorably. But this is what the fans want to hear. So it was like very nice to actually hear those difficult questions being answered and asked.
Now, one thing that I do want to say is about the substitutions. He did say he likes to bring on subs early. Oh, now listen. I mean, if early, I mean, normally, we've come to the court of Eddie o'clock during substitutions, where you can almost most of the time time your watch to when he is going to make changes. Now, early substitutions, Alex, I was a lot of people were baffled by that one because, apart from the times where he's made the half-time substitutions, I think the fact that he says he likes early subs is a bit bizarre, considering it's normally around the 67th minute.
Well, I mean, in the context of a football match, I guess you could consider it early. But
yeah, I mean, it's 25 minutes left, isn't there? From
my again, this is very subjective, and there are a lot of people who have studied substitutions in a lot more detail. Substitution coaches is now a thing. It has been even at non-league level for recent years. It's become a bit of a hipster thing to go and research how substitutions work and what's most efficient. So they're not stupid, they're obviously, but I don't think it's early. In my head, logically, I feel like you give the team, the 11, at half-time a chance to go and action your team talk, which is probably 15-ish minutes, which takes you up to the hour mark, the 60th minute. And I feel like if they've not managed to action anything in 15 minutes as a quick counter in the second half, maybe roll the dice again. He waits till the 67th, 68th minute is sort of Eddie o'clock. Which there's an argument to be made. Fine, he's giving people 20 minutes to act his
I can't believe
plan.
Eddie o'clock is actually a thing, but it generally
is. It is a thing.
It is. I mean, I've just seen a comment there saying that he was in context. He was talking about when we're chasing games. He likes the subs early, but we've seen that a few times this season where we chase his games, and it's still. But if you think about the context of he's got to give his 11 a chance to make amends or to action a different plan. So is it late? 67th is what, the 22nd minute into the second half. So he's given him 22 minutes to try and make a difference. Sort of a half, if you like, isn't it? Really, I guess it's kind of all right, but there's obviously a lot of us are acting emotionally, and at half time we're all going, "No, this is awful. We must bring on 3 players," and he's got to give his lads a chance to try and action a game plan in at least for 15-20 minutes. So it does make sense to a point. Yeah. Sam, tomorrow's going to be interesting, isn't it? Because we had a Chelsea fan on the show earlier on today that me and Billy did in the press conference reaction show, and he was saying that Chelsea could change their full 11 again tomorrow, but literally have still a very strong side. So for us, and I was trying to say for us, it's a very different game, maybe compared to Chelsea tomorrow. Yes, Chelsea obviously will want to win the game, but this is huge for Eddie and Newcastle, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And I did see the replay on the earlier show today and saw that comment. Yes, Chelsea have got a tribe, a tribe of players to pick from. So I think Eddie saying that, let's decide what tactics we want to play rather than trying to prepare and anticipate what their team is going to look like. We can't possibly do that. There'd be too many different variations on
variations.
Variations.
Indeed.
Yeah. I don't know where that came from.
No.
But we need to play how we want to play. You know, we're at home, we're at St. James's, we've got that advantage. We need the crowd more than ever to get behind the team, get behind Eddie, and let's try and put this to bed. Get on a winning run, Howe.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got Trolls has gifted a Toon Review membership again. Thank you, Trolls. Very, very kind. And Michael McIntyre, thanks for your super chat. Hi all, come on United, Newcastle, what is Toon? We're under the lights tomorrow, Alex, and I think St. James's Park, hang on, Matty McLaughlin saw me at the Metro Centre today. Well, why didn't you come and say hello? I don't bite, only Sam does that. Was he in Ann Summers? I certainly wasn't. It is my daughter Lily's birthday today. She's 11. We took her and a couple of friends to the climbing place in the Metro Centre, and it's safe to say that my head now has a huge orchestra playing in it. So the fact that I'm even sitting here doing this show is quite the miracle, because it is pounding. They sang all the way there. They went into the Metro Centre, which was packed again, which I hate that place when it's packed. And then they sang all the way back, and they've just never stopped. So, but a massive happy birthday to Lily. She's had a lovely day and been spoiled again as usual, but she deserves it. So happy birthday, sweetie. Anyway, what was I going to say? Yes, under the lights, Alex. St. James's Park is a very, very different animal, isn't it? I mean, you've been there in the Carabao Cup games. You know, when we get to Wembley, we went together, and incredible atmosphere.
Yeah, I've been to a lot of the Carabao Cup stuff, especially in the season when we got to Wembley. So that was fantastic, and yeah, it is different. You know, the scarves come out, slightly different crowd, but it's still it's infinitely better than pre-season. It's still noisy in pre-game. Sometimes you need to get going a bit, but that is going to need to be the difference. Of course, we're at a bit of a unique point, regardless of what some journalists might say. I believe that I don't want to ridicule fans, but I think some of the panic is a little bit maybe justified. They want a bit of direction, a bit of clarity, and the club have got no obligation to give that to people. They've got their own plans. And I can see why some people are getting a little bit angsty and frustrated. You know, we're 12th in the league. We might get knocked out of the cup. We're not giving Isak a new contract. Not that he needs one yet. It's due in 2028. So, yeah, there are rumblings. A few people aren't happy, but it is a few. But yeah, hopefully, the Northeast Fortress, although we have lost at home recently, will help, because we need that extra bit of push. Eddie Howe referenced in the press conference today that maybe there's a lack of confidence. Hopefully the home fixture will help that, because we've beaten Chelsea quite a few times recently, quite convincingly when we were, it was when we were playing a lot better football, and we've beaten a lot of the big teams recently as well. So we've got to take that belief and confidence, and I feel like he needs to start instilling some of what he taught the group when he first came in, a lot of the phrases and the mindset stuff, and we need a bit more of that back, I think.
Yeah, look, I mean, what made the Carabao Cup run last time was, when we got to the latter stages, obviously we had sort of DJs on at the start before the match to get the crowd going, and there was a buzz outside, the sort of, I don't know, anticipation of getting to Wembley, and I think that gave all the fans an extra buzz. And I think the player, it was DJ Shaq. Sorry, thanks, Chippers. It gives the players a buzz, Sam. And I think that's what we have to do as fans in this game tomorrow and moving forward. I think that, Eddie's reference there, like Alex said, maybe there is a little lack of confidence there. And he said last week that the harmony wasn't quite right. So there's a couple of things that I think we can put right as fans by backing the players tomorrow night, creating that atmosphere, giving them that 12th man push, if you like. And also, because of that, and hopefully they start to play, score a couple of goals, the harmony suddenly comes back, and then everything, is happy again, and we're pushing for up the table again.
I mean, what a war and peace and like question is that?
Absolutely.
Do you do this on purpose to test my memory?
He does it to me as well, don't worry.
It's terrible, isn't it, Alex? My goodness.
Listen,
Anyway,
I-Class used to as very professional people and have the right to, should be able to cope with my questions as a professional host. We are a professional channel, and we are very good at asking and answering. So there you go, Sam.
Okay,
Carry on.
Can you exercise the right to remain silent while I answer then?
I will.
Oh, just stop. Right, okay, so first thing, we actually mentioned this in last night's show. We talked to the confidence piece. I specifically mentioned losing the dressing room. I think it's really great to actually have the acknowledgement. I hate when he's just seems to be aloof to the problems that we as fans can see. So I really actually appreciated that he was like, it perhaps is becoming a confidence thing. We can all see that on the pitch. So, but once we acknowledge it, we can actually work on that. So so I think we will see a tide change once that comes into fruition. You talked about, you know, the 12th man there. Absolutely, that stadium being packed out, being rocking. I think last time we were maybe, you know, riding a wave of hope, and we were in a much better place and getting really excited about a trip to Wembley and things. We need to have a bit of that back. But Alex mentioned something really important earlier. These games, these cup games, are very different to our regular Premier League fixtures. So it's about those who have tickets bringing it and up in the ante, you know, getting the kids involved. Like if you need to research some of the songs before you go, do it and be in full voice when you're there as well. You know, I was at the Wimbledon game and it was flat. It was hard to get people going, even though you could see people were excited, but there was a different vibe. So let's turn up the volume, get behind the lads, because this cup is really important to us.
You know what it is? I mean, I ask long questions, I get long answers. And I'll tell you why that is, Sam, right? It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Will you listen to what I'm going to say, woman, before you rip my head off? It's because I'm used to Alex now, right? When I give Alex questions, I get war and peace answers most of the time. So I've tended now to, I've cloned myself into an Alex asking the questions because I'm used to him with his encyclopedic answers. So I apologize for that, but you know what?
How has this turned into us blaming Alex?
Well, because I have to explain myself. Roadblock. Roadblock, thank you for being a member for an incredible 32 months. Thank you for your support. What a ride it's been for all of us. Bring on the next 32 months. Keep up the good work. Love the channel. Thank you, mate. And Andy, thank you for your super chat. Evening, Paul, Alex, and Lady Sam. Eddie is getting a tad boring and predictable now with his subs, in my opinion. Andy and Joe. I hope you're both well. Alex, we signed a player today. It's a striker. And Ulfa, the Icelandic Geordie. Do you know what? When I think of that username, I just think of Ulfa as being a big sort of Icelandic man with a big bearskin coat on and a big long beard who jumps in ice pools. You know the type I'm on about? Big warriors. Ulfa. Yeah. It's a tremendous name. He says, is it me or does the new signing look a little like Jesse Eisenberg from Social Network movie? Well, Alex, would you like to just tell everyone about the new signing?
Faktang Salia, the Georgian. Well, we'll probably push it into a show, to be fair. But he is from Georgia. He's still 17 years old. He's not going to be joining us until he's 18 years old next August. He's going to go back to Dinamo Tbilisi. Again, don't speak Georgian, in that ballpark, something like that, which is very clever because it means when he eventually turns 21, he will have done 3 years. I don't know if that's going to qualify. I don't know if it's before 18th birthday or 21st birthday. I can't remember. I've not looked at these rules since the transfer window. I'll double check. Yeah. But it's an interesting one. I'm in talks with some people who are Georgian football enthusiasts. So we will probably do a show at some point soon, catching up on how sort of Joe White and Jamie Miley are getting on, and we'll have a look at the Serbian. Is it the Serbian lad? I think he's Serbian lad, and Salia as well. Oh, I nearly got to the end of the sentence, guys. So close. I nearly got there.
Sorry,
I felt like I had to give Billy the proper introduction. Are you all right, Mr. Trey?
Oh, I've had medical assistance, but yeah, I'm fine.
Oh, okay. That's Nothing too serious, I hope.
No, same as last week.
Same as last week. Okay, no problem. Right. I mean, we've had a bit of an interesting show so far, Mr. Trey. We've been talking about Eddie's press conference and obviously tomorrow under the lights and how we hope that St. James's Park will be rocking a little bit. Because as you quoted this morning, we win tomorrow night, we're in the quarters again.
Yeah, 4 games. Well, we're 4 games from Wembley now. So, winning for them 4 games and we're going to be trophy winners. Simple as that.
Well, there you go. That is a tremendous introduction to the show. Win the 4 games and we win the cup. Easy as that.
Easy.
We've got the Chelsea fan in who was in this morning with the I'm going to call him iMatrix or something. It's a baffling username, but welcome back. CFC fan here again, watching the previews to our clashes. However, we want to stay in the cup due to our squad size. Cole Palmer and our main players won't travel as we have Manchester United at the weekend.
Great.
Good luck the weekend.
Yes. Yeah. We don't want you to win tomorrow, but the weekend, thrash the bastard.
There's some funny news on that, by the way. The XG Philosophy, which is a very cool book that you can read, did publish Eric Ten Hag's heaviest XG defeats. And we feature as the second. So we got an XG of 4-0 against them in April 2023 when we beat them 2-0. So we should have actually pumped them in that game, really, 4 or 5, but we only got the 2. So we inflicted the second heaviest XG defeat of Ten Hag's Man United tenure, which is quite funny because that was our Carabao Cup loss revenge game. That was, so it was very sweet.
Yeah, I remember standing outside filming after that game when we were all shouting at Manchester United fans, "You've seen United, now fuck off home," because they were quite happy singing that to us, Alex, when they came out of Wembley, weren't they?
So shouting it in children's faces. Yeah, they were loving it, weren't they?
Yeah,
no, they were doing that. The Man United fans. They were
Sam, so you weren't with us back then, but one of them went right into Phoebe's face and called her a CUNT. And then whacked my phone out my hand, and they were awful. Phoebe just, to be fair to her, just stood her ground and stared at him, and I thought she was going to absolutely rip him. But I mean, going up to her, I mean, she was what, 14?
Oh, it's despicable. That's despicable.
Saying, coffee Geordie CUNT, and I'm thinking, wow,
with their pre-bought scarves that the Glazers bought them for the final to try and match the atmosphere that we were bringing.
Yeah.
All those scarves, if anybody doesn't remember that, the scarves that the Man United fans had in that final were provided by the Glazers because they knew they were going to get destroyed in atmosphere. It was funny.
Yeah, I did actually, give the guy a punch in the ribs, Sam, which was spotted by a lady police officer who came along and just said he deserved that, but don't do it.
Well, this escalated quickly. Like, why didn't you lead with that? Like, you were idly
I'm not a violent person,
by,
Sam,
like
to be honest.
Really?
But when I saw that, I couldn't resist. I just sort of saw the red mist, and when I see the red mist, the ice hockey player comes back in me, and it's
I'm all for it. Here.
Absolutely. But do you remember going into the ground, Alex? They were all walking in like the Gallagher brothers, weren't they, with the jackets and that on because there
were no red shirts.
It was like the red shirt, wasn't it?
No, they didn't. Yeah, they were just. It was like they were going shopping, just on a casual. You wouldn't have known it was a final of a competition. It was really, really strange.
I mean, Billy does the best atmosphere. Billy does the best accent for the Manchester fans, to be honest. And we're all
Manchester United.
Well, that's Cockney, I guess. I knew where you were going with that. But look, on a serious note, tomorrow night, I think like Billy said, Sam, we're a game away from the quarterfinals again, and it's been a good couple of runs for us in the Carabao. Disappointing finish to Chelsea last season, obviously with Trippier's mistake, or we would have won that game. And then this time around, it's at St. James's Park. We have a real opportunity. But I asked Billy this morning what positional changes he would make, and he straight away mentioned the centre backs. What would you do?
Yeah, I probably agree with that as well. And I keep banging on about it, but I would love to see a formation change and pushing Bruno further up. I just want to get back to some press and some intensity. I think we can do really well with a different formation. I know we're going to look at that in a moment, but God, just give us the changes that we need. Let's inject a little bit of energy. We've got the likes of Lloyd Kelly, who's got legs for days. He's got more legs than a bucket of chicken. So can we just get him on for this game and see what happens? Sorry.
These cliches are a beautiful
Is
thing.
anybody collating these, please? We can make some money here.
The cliche review is what we're going to be starting to be known as.
Cliche review.
Billy, I want you. I mean, from the show this morning, we want when we do the graphics and we try and make a team up. Would you like to tell Alex what formation we'd like him to start with this evening?
Yeah, I mean, Mark from Evermore NUFC put a lineup yesterday. It was a 4-2-3-1 with Joe Willock as the 10 behind Isaac, and it actually looked quite good and quite balanced, to be fair.
I've seen versions of this today because of people kind of copying. So people have plucked out Sandro's shape for Italy. Well, Italy's shape with Sandro in it, however we're going to say that. And it got sort of Dumfries and DiMarco out as the wing backs. You've got the centre. I was going to say centrocampistas. Then what am I talking about? The midfielders.
That's the clue.
Because I was going to say centre halves, and then I tried to save it and turn it into Italian.
For Italy.
For Italy, yeah. And then obviously they've got.
For Italy.
This wasn't not for Italy.
Then gone down a rabbit hole.
Whatever it was,
I
can't remember. I was looking at formations anyway, and they were putting different players from Serie A, different, and then the Italy side, and then the old AC Milan side. They were doing combinations of these things, and it ended up there. You go, Foxy's, but it's the Inter lineup. They were doing variations of that today on Twitter, and all kind of roads pointed to Willock as the 10, and I don't think that would work. But we'll talk about that when we look at the lineup. I don't think Willock could play as a 10.
I had a feeling you would actually say that, Alex, which is why I was dumping it on Billy to tell you what formation we wanted to look at.
Yeah, but you remember when Willock came on loan? I mean, the fella scored goals for fun. I mean, why not? Why wouldn't it work?
Yeah, he can score goals, but he can't play the 10.
Well, how do you know he can't play the 10? He was all over the place when Steve Bruce was in charge. He played anywhere. The whole 11 played anywhere. Yeah, we were all over the place. We didn't actually have positions under Steve Bruce, so he can do it. But
no, he can't play the 10. Not in the way we're trying to play football and the level we're trying to play football.
But what Sam's trying to say as well, we want to see something different to the way we've been playing football. Why can't we mix it up a bit and play different?
I agree, but I don't think Willock at the 10 is the answer. If you look at how Cole Palmer's just played against us, and you compare skill sets, if you look at the standard of 10 in the Premier League, if you look at the type of player that's sat behind the striker in the Premier League now, who are challenging for European places. You know, you've got Maddison for Spurs. You've got sort of João Felix or Cole Palmer for Chelsea. I mean, City have got like your Phil Fodens, and we're just going to plop Joe Willock there and hope that he does similar. No, he's not got the skill set. He's got.
Alex, I think you're expecting a lot there. Just to not everybody that plays in the 10 is going to be the quality of Cole Palmer, mate.
He's not got the attributes to play that role, though, in the way we would want it played. He's got a really sort of explosive starting run, a good stride. He can get up to top speed. He links up well with players. And that was best when he was able to drive on the left, whether it was as a winger or as a midfielder that rotated. Whereas all of a sudden, if you're going to have him with his back to goal, receiving the ball on the half turn, trying to play similarly to how Bruno plays when he's got loads of people around him, we're going to need Willock to be able to handle that as a 10, shrug off a couple, do a spin, tight footwork, intricate passing, 1-2s. I'm not sure he's got that in tight spaces. He's more of a get running into space kind of guy. I don't think it would, I mean, it might work for the odd game, but as a long-term solution, he's not got that in his locker to play that way. He's not that guy.
Maybe long-term, but the one game could be tomorrow night.
How about a sexy visual to support this argument to or against?
We will be doing sexy visuals.
Visuals?
Vigils? Oh, yeah,
what the hell? In the dark arts.
I have no idea what I said there.
Halloween. Put that away, will you?
Sam? Oh, God. The great Derek Akora. Sam? Yeah.
Take it off me, Sam.
That's the only chance I'll ever be a medium.
Anyway, Christian, thank you for your super chat. Easy for Chelsea to prepare for us. Same team as Sunday. And no, I don't think it'll be the same team, Keith. Kieran, thank you for your super chat. We may not have the best players to play the 4-2-3-1, but they are not the worst and surely could do a job even for one match, which I think is what, Alex alluded to at the end of his very long answer there about Joe Willock in the 10. Sam, if it's not Joe Willock and we do go for, we play the 4-2-3-1, who would you play in the 10?
Oh, goodness me. Well, honestly, I don't know, because Alex is right that the quality isn't there. But I think the advantage that it would give us is that they wouldn't expect us to be changing formation.
Yeah, that's a problem. I think we've gone with the same formation for so long now. I think if we did. Mike's asking, what about a 4-5-1 formation?
I mean, that's what
this is the only correct answer.
That's what 4-3-3 is really when we're away from that. It was 4-5-1 Saturday.
Yeah.
Sunday.
Is Bruno a 10?
Could be.
He's the only person in our squad good enough to play the role in the way you want it played.
Why not Tonali?
I think Bruno's better at that kind of tight space, ball retention.
But a lot of people are
out of issues.
Yeah. But a lot of people this morning, mate, were saying that if we go 4-2-3-1, Bruno and Tonali as the two, it would kind of be a little bit stronger in midfield. They wouldn't get through us quite as easy as they did in a 4-3-3 system.
Well, Longstaff's going to play, so we've got a little bit. Well, he will play. You know he'll play.
Drop that shit early on me in
Please
the show.
Don't ruin my night.
Bloody hell. I mean, Alex, the Grim Reaper of Doom.
All right, maybe he'll drop Longstaff and play Lewis Miley, but he's going to play Sean. You know he is.
Well, he mentioned Miley this morning, didn't he, Bill? And I think there's a possibility. He's definitely in his head for a start. So I'd like to see Miley start. I think we said this morning, Billy, the only way that he's going to get match fit is minutes.
Exactly. Yeah, we get minutes in his legs. Otherwise, he's going to be sat on the bench watching for the rest of the season. Never going to be match fit, is he?
Yeah. If he drops Tonali for Longstaff again, Chippers, I will. I mean, but this is the thing for me, guys. This is a huge game for us tomorrow. And I know some people just poo-poo the Carabao Cup and whatever. But given the situation we're in, and again, that was mentioned this morning. Somebody asked the question, would me and Billy take 10th place in a cup win and win a trophy? Absolutely.
I would.
Because the cup win gets you into Europe. So, even though we don't finish in the European places, we've got a cup win, which gets us into Europe. So I would take that in a second, which is why I think this game is absolutely huge tomorrow night. Keith, thank you for another super chat. He says, yep, Alex is right. Longstaff and Miggy.
Hey, don't put words in my mouth. I never said Miggy would play.
He might play for 10.
Oh, there's a
Take
thought.
that back, Billy.
Please, let's not let that.
Can you imagine?
Mouth
Can you imagine that three? Barnes, Miggy, and Murphy. I mean, that would put the shitters up anybody, wouldn't it, really?
It's not Halloween yet.
I think Badia Sheila would probably die laughing.
Well, listen, they've got an array of talent to come in tomorrow. Whether they change the first 11 or not, who knows? But I'm not really concentrating on Chelsea because this game for me, if we get through here today, we have a wonderful opportunity to charge to Wembley again. I mean, are you, as it stands now, Sam, are you confident? Can you are confident for tomorrow night?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm confident. I think we're going to win tomorrow. I feel confident because we are playing at St. James's. I feel confident because, yes, they have this huge array of players to choose from, but I think that could be advantageous for us because will they have any team cohesion? Yes, they've got quality, but it's actually about how the teams communicate, how they work together on the pitch, the time that they've had training as one unit. Are they going to have that? Possibly not. So I think we will scrape a win, but I think we will win. What are you dastardly
we've got a troll in the chat, which I'm just going to ignore that comment, you dickhead. Yeah, let's just give me.
I was laughing at the comment behind it, actually.
Yeah, I know.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Mocking
I
people
mean,
with an illness. That's lovely.
Having to go to somebody's disability is mighty manly of you, isn't it? Say it to me face. I don't say the fucker at all. If you say it to me face, you'll be drinking milkshakes for 6 months, pal. But you haven't got the balls to. Anyway, what were you laughing at, Mr. Trey?
The comment below, Chippers put.
I've lost it.
He says there's more chance PG getting number 1 in the charts than us winning.
So it's safe to say that Chippers is not confident at all, because that certainly isn't going to happen. But anyway, I mean, how confident are you, Billy, after what we watched on Sunday?
I'm very confident. Yeah, I think we'll want it more than them. I think the crowd will definitely want it more than they will. That they'll make it hostile as possible, and we deserve a performance. I think we'll get one tomorrow.
Alex, are you confident as well? Well, I mean, we're not obviously predicting the scores just yet, but I'm talking about confidence levels. I'm very surprised that we've already had 2 people very, very confident of winning the game. Where do you stand?
I think we're about to play the best B team in the country. And I think we have one of the poorest B teams in, well, at least the Premier League, in terms of rotation options. I think it's going to be a very difficult evening for us. There is the chance that, Chelsea do have a lot of players. There's been a lack of gelling. Recently, it's been a lot better for them. They've been playing some lovely football. But hopefully with the odds and sods and the dregs in the back end of the squad, it might not click. They might have a tough time. You've got your Dewsbury Halls and players like that. They might have a bit of a difficult afternoon. You never know. The crowd might help us out. But this is, I think we need to, everything has to click. It's the kind of speech I normally give when we play Man City. For us to get anything out of this game, we've got to do, the game plan has to be actioned perfectly. And I'm feeling that way now, that we're going to have to get through to the next round. We have to play a perfect game. We'll see. I'm not super confident.
Foxy says, the play like we did against Wimbledon, says Darren, and we will get slaughtered.
I think we'll see a different lineup to the one played against Wimbledon. I think he'll play as full of strength as possible.
Yeah, I agree.
Foxy says, do you think Chelsea have Andre Santos to bring back next season with Estevao and Poise arriving?
Andre Santos, by the way, is an absolute freak this season in France. Like we reviewed Andre Santos before because we thought we might get him, and then he went to Chelsea. He is now.
How many times have we said that, especially over the course of these 2 games against Chelsea? How many Chelsea players?
Probably 8 or 9 of their current squad. I think we've done transfer goes.
Bowley definitely watches this channel. I'm in no doubt he watches this channel, because this is where Chelsea get their information for new signings. This is they don't go and watch the players; they just watch Stato's sort of build up of the player, and Bowley goes, right, yeah, we'll go and get him. We'll go and get him. We'll go get him.
Are we looking at Jeff Hendrick next show, Stato?
Yes. Yes.
Anyway, I need to go.
Nile Ranger.
Yes, Sam is not with us for any more because she's going to watch the Lionesses who were in action tonight, because obviously she will want to talk about the Lionesses on the War Lasses show on Tuesday night next week. So, Sam, give us your prediction before you bid us adieu.
2-1 to the Toon.
2-1 to the Toon. And who's going to be your scorers?
Oh, well, it depends who plays, but I would love to see...
obviously...
Oh, come on. Honestly, you're just holding us up now, man. Right, I'm going to say Barnes and... What the hell? Murphs.
Wow. Go and watch the ladies. Get lost. We'll speak to you soon. Enjoy it, Sam.
Bye.
See you, Sam.
Good night.
Bye.
Oh, I pressed the wrong button.
Have you?
I got some funny colours up on my screen there. I didn't know what that was. Right, let's take a look. I mean, should we try and build a side for tomorrow? I mean,
we can do.
God, I mean, Alex
Before
has
we
left
do
it blank, guys, so we can actually build it from scratch. But go on, Alex.
Well, before we do it, this is happening tonight. It is the youth game, so I feel like we need to at least have a look at this first to get an indication of which youth players may be involved in the matchday squad tomorrow. So curiously, Alfie Harrison and Trevan Sanusi and Munda are all on the bench and would typically be starters, although Alfie Harrison has been a sub of late, so I've heard. So maybe Sanusi to be involved in the match day squad at least, possibly Munda, but we'll see. We'll see.
Sanusi's been down with the younger team, hasn't he? So interesting.
We'll see. I think it's just an interesting thing to take into consideration. Oh, we don't need that one. That's something different. So we've
apparently the 2-0 down already. So yeah.
I've thrown up just a random alternative 11 of spare players they've got. This is completely rotated on the Chelsea side. So for any Chelsea fans in the chat, feel free to kind of pluck at this. I appreciate Disasi's not a right back, and I know that this isn't spot on. I've just thrown players down in a 4-2-3-1. But that is the depth that they've got. They've got, World Cup winning Fernandes as a rotation player. They've got Euros winning Cucurella as a rotation player. João Felix of Atletico Barcelona, and Kunku, one of the German players of the year. It's ridiculous that this is a B team. It's just absurd. But that's kind of what Chelsea have got to potentially call upon, unless they decide to use some of the players that started against us. So if you want to build our lineup, let me just throw some. I appreciate that you guys both said you think we're going to go strong, but let me just throw a couple of maybe players out there that might get a look in the start.
You're just doing this to make me angry, Alex, aren't you?
Well, I'm just bringing in some of the rotation / bench options that we think may get a chance. Who else is going to be possibly dragged into this list?
Vlachodimos, I think, maybe.
Do you think? Do you think he'll start? Because you mentioned last game, Billy. Obviously, Nick Pope starting the game again because obviously we want to go far in the competition. It's a tough decision to change the goalkeeper, isn't it? I mean, I actually would play Vlachodimos. I think he looks a decent keeper. And why?
Yeah, I'd like to see him have a go from the start. I really would. And
yeah.
Nick Pope hasn't been great of late, and Sunday was partly down to him that we didn't draw the game. So yeah, I don't see why Vlachodimos doesn't start. He looks very competent to me.
So we'll throw Odi on goal then. These are the other players that again have been bench warmers and not playing. So do we think anybody out of this lineup is gonna play? Do we think Kelly gets in this starting 11?
Yeah, I think Kelly will play.
Where do we think he will play?
That's the question.
I think he'll play where he is now, left centre back.
So we leave Dan Burnout.
Obviously, we can always shuffle this, but we'll leave this for now. Do we think Osula starts?
No.
You don't think Will Osula starts this match?
No.
It's too big of a game. If he's not trusted in the Premier League, he's not going to trust him tomorrow.
Willock.
I think he'll play. But I don't know where.
I think Willock, if he goes 4-3-3, Willock for me is in for Joe Linton because, like Billy said this morning, Joe Linton was gassed on Sunday, absolutely shattered. So I'm not sure he starts Big Joe tomorrow.
Barnes came off when the 67th, 68th minute, didn't he?
Yeah.
So we may potentially, again, those subs might have been with this game in mind. So potentially it could look like that. Obviously, I've not built the whole lineup yet, but Willock as a left-sided 8 with Barnes as the proper left winger, maybe, because he only played just over an hour. So, who's the right-sided centre half? Is Kraft going to come in a centre half?
I think Eddie needs to make a statement and drop Fabian Schär. I honestly do. Schär has not been good for quite a while now, and I know Emil Kraft hasn't got the passing range, or he doesn't bring it out as quick as what Schär can do, but he's never let us down. It's centre back. He's always been pretty solid.
He's not a very good ball player.
No, but he's a good defender, and I think
he's okay.
Schär hasn't done enough for me to get another start. He just hasn't.
No, that's fair. But obviously, the problem is here, Paul, is we've got no other right back unless we start Tino.
That's the risk, isn't it?
I think Tino will start. I think Tino will start.
So we think Livramento is going to come back in because obviously the only alternative really would be Murphy's the only one who's played right back in a back four, which we don't really want to be doing in this kind of game.
Him out of there immediately.
So we'll put Livramento on then. So, I mean, in my head as well, this is another thing I was thinking about. Obviously, Tonali came off quite early, played just over an hour, came off because he got that yellow. Does Tonali then play? Because he didn't have to play a full match.
Tonali's got to play. I mean, it's a huge game, like I say. I mean, I just hope that that Eddie and his coaching staff treat this game as seriously as what we fans think they should.
The question is Barnes going to play if Gordon's got an injury that may keep him out Saturday? It's a big ask to me.
Who would you change for Barnes and Bill?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'll probably play Willock there and play the normal midfield. I would personally.
So yeah, but then Billy, if we do have a problem, we could then do a Willock Joe Linton left side for Saturday potentially. As people get back to full fitness.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah,
I think the main problem is the midfield at the moment because we're trying to put too many players in the midfield. Like Willock surely has got to start because he's trying to get Willock back to form. Let's pull Bruno up into this conversation. We've got 4 midfielders and we can only start 2 in the rest of these 2 slots.
I agree with Billy. I think Bruno and Tonali have to start.
I don't think he plays Miley. I don't think he starts Miley. I think Miley might come off the bench, but I don't think he's going to start.
I mean, this all depends as well, guys, on what system he plays. If we do change from the 4-3-3, but I'm already seeing a lot of comments saying there's no way he's got the balls to do it. He'll stick with the 4-3-3. But I think it's too big of a game to start Lewis Miley as his first game back. And also, by the way, when we said about Asula starting, I'd actually like to see Asula start because I think Isak's been very, very poor. Yes, he scored on Sunday, but the goals he scored, and I said this morning, have been 2 tap-ins, right? Simple tap-ins. He has not been at his best all season. So I'd like to see Asula start, but I don't think for a second he's going to have the balls to do it. Wagner says, I lost my father last Friday, and he was the one who watched games with me and all. I don't know if I will ever enjoy football again. Wagner, I mean, listen, mate, obviously thoughts and prayers to you and the family. It's horrible news that, but you have the Toon Review community. I know you've been part of us for a long time now. So you can watch the games with us, my man, and get involved in the chat. Everyone's here for you. And all we can hope that you do is after the grieving process, just, try and get back to watching it and spend the matches with us. We're here every game.
Can I say something from experience for Wagner? Because
absolutely, yeah. Go ahead.
I was in the exact same situation when my father passed away. It does take a little while, but eventually you'll get to the point where you remember your dad when you're watching games. You'll be thinking about what your dad would be saying, that kind of thing. Oh, dad would have loved that pass, etc., etc. So you will enjoy football again, no doubt about it.
Yeah, it's like Mercury says there, one day at a time. But the thing is, I think, if you watch the football with your dad all the time, your dad will not want you to stop watching football. He will want you to continue watching football and Newcastle in general. So please, Wagner, just as I say, take it a day at a time. You've got all the thoughts and prayers of this channel and the community with you. And also, match days, we're on live every match day. You can be in the chat and spend time with the community. So we're with you all the way, my man, and never forget that. But thoughts and prayers to you and the family, buddy. Okay, Alex. Look, the midfield there, I think, is
obviously Sean's not started for a while. So is he really going to keep benching Sean? I would like this. I think we all would, but
who did you best? Do you think he'd best Bruno? Do you think he'll play Tonali in the 6?
We don't win. We just don't win without Bruno. We just don't at all. And he's the captain.
So you think you'll drop Tonali then? Well, rest Tonali.
But again, Tonali came off as a sub. So
if he leaves Tonali out and then turns around and says, "Well, we're just resting him,"
yes.
No, I'm not going to get angry, but no.
Yeah. So he's missed a third of each game he's played. So
he's never played 90 minutes this season.
We need a right winger and we need a left back. So let's try and do that. Obviously, Matt Target is.
Well, let's not even bother with him.
Did anybody ask about him today?
No, there was nothing mentioned of him. He's still out with itchy feet.
Might have been handy, but all right. So no Target then. So we've got Byrne and Hall as potentials for this position.
I'm not play Hall personally.
Well, yeah, but we know that he gave Dan Byrne a go at left back again on Sunday, didn't he, for the short period of the game? So.
Yeah, I'm going to love watching Madrid win at Dan Byrne.
I would absolutely be dropping Bruno, says Atticus. He was appalling on Sunday. I don't think he was appalling.
That's because he previously said that Bruno can't play 6, 8, or 10, so he just doesn't like Bruno at all.
That's fair enough. By the way, those of you that are asking who won the Player of the Match award last night, I forgot all about it. It was actually comprehensively won by Lewis Hall. I think he finished on 59% of the votes. So Lewis Hall was the Player of the Match for Sunday. Uncle Buzzcock says Hall sometimes struggles with getting up and down so much he'll be rested for Kelly.
Well, Kelly can't play left back and left centre back at the same time.
Yeah, I want.
Well, it would end up being that then, wouldn't it?
Oh, sweet Jesus of Christ!
That's the worst of both worlds.
No, Alex, I'd rather stick a trout up my arse than see that.
When Lloyd Kelly's the best passer in the back five, that's really concerning.
Nah, not for me. That just doesn't work.
So are we thinking this is probably the most likely / logical of what we would like as a fan base? Maybe. I mean, please speak up in the chat if you want this kind of adjusted or what you think he's going to do.
Jacob Murphy, Christ.
Yeah, well, but Miggy started, so surely that's
I agree.
Right?
Well, Miggy started and did absolutely fuck all. So Murphy starts again, and Murphy will do absolutely fuck all. It's a normal story on the right. We put one in, and it's just the same old bollocks time after time after time.
Want me to give you my team, my preferred team?
Yes,
Alex. So my preferred team would be, I wouldn't play Willock at all. I would have, and I wouldn't play Barnes either.
He's going to put Sean Longstaff, isn't he? He's going to put Longstaff in.
I would do.
Oh, he's not. Oh,
I would go 4-4 F in 2, and I would basically probably drop back into a 4-5-1 when we don't have the ball, whether it's Isak or Asula. And then as soon as we get the ball, I want Joe Linton busting a gut, and I want these three on the counter attack. Isak and Asula to do all the rough and tumble, and those three to go on absolutely mad little runs together. But just to try and keep it all as solid as possible, and it keeps.
Well, I think Asula will play. If he did that, he'd play Asula behind Isak because Isak's not.
Yeah, Isak's got to be the flick on guy. And
yeah, I mean he hasn't.
Guy.
Isak's got the body strength of a wet piece of toilet.
And this would allow Isak to go on slightly more left-sided runs as well, which he likes more. He can combine with Joe Linton. Joe Linton can then go central. They can do little counter attacks. And then this is a lovely kind of setup for Willock to get involved in the second half as well. But I don't think this will ever happen.
There's a lot more physicality in that team for me. I mean, bringing a.
I think it's more defensively sound as well, because it means we don't have to hold as high a line. It means we can limit the space. We don't have to rely. And it means Fabian could play, because one thing Fabian Cherry is good at is going hoof up to somebody up there. That is what Fabian can do. If you make the spaces compact, Cher's fine. But our centre halves have been found wanting when they've been trying to play sexy football recently. So, but I'll move that, because that's not going to happen. That's never going to happen. So.
I laugh at Ollie's comment. He's resting Tonali for the Italy games.
Oh, don't say that.
Hey, I'll tell you what, it's not a bad point. Ian made a good point as well, suggesting that we need to stop the opposition having so much space. And I get where he's coming from, because, we are seeing, for some reason, Newcastle gives so much space up on the field. And
it's because of how we're playing. We're trying to play so high.
Yeah.
With really slow players.
But that's up to the manager to identify that problem and do something about it, isn't it?
Yeah, well, this is the whole conversation we had in the review show, Paul, from this last match, is he knows, he can see that we're losing goals and attacks. We're giving up attacks and opportunities because Fabian and Byrne are too slow and they're getting spun all the time. And the recovery rate of the midfield is quite bad as well, in terms of Bruno making a recovery run because he's quite slow anyway. Everybody can see that, but Eddie Howe is... We don't know what the decision is. Eddie, I don't know if Eddie is talking to them to try and solve it, if he's just... I don't know. He knows this, but he's not changing it.
Yep. Keith Truscott, thank you for your super chat. We're going to win because we have to. I think if not, the walls are starting to close in on Eddie, to be honest. And John Adams over there in New Zealand, thank you for your super chat, mate. I hope you're well. If Gordon not fit, play Asula and then Isak on the left. Yeah, we haven't come. Yeah, nobody's mentioned Isak playing on the left before.
Then I guess that your subs late on have got to be Barnes and
You've got Joe Linton.
We don't know about Gordon, do we? That's
I don't think he's going to play, Billy. I don't think he'll risk Gordon.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Really?
If I think if any chance of him playing, I think he'll play. I think it's more. This game's more important than any other game.
Well, I hope it is. Yeah. Good point.
I don't want to see Isaac on the left because if I was Lewis Hall, I'd get me booking Haversack and piss off because there's going to be no help coming from Isaac.
Piss? Yeah. He sounded like the Queen Elizabeth there. Piss off.
Well, and when you think about this lineup, Isak's not going to be doing particularly good tracking back. And then you've got Willock, who is also very poor at wide cover. So poor Kelly and Hall. Yeah, Billy's right. They might as well just go home because they're not going to get any help.
Keith, thank you for another super chat, mate. Want to see our intensity back and piss him off and get at him. Foxy says, remember Isak's defensive work when he was playing left side away at Milan? He didn't attempt to get back at all.
Yeah, poor Lewis Hall as a 20-year-old. You can't be having... Yeah. If that happens, if we were to do that, the left-sided 8 has to be Joe Linton, and it has to be with an instruction of go help Lewis Hall. That's the only way that is ever going to work.
Agent Texas, I'm worried if we lose and play well, people will still lose their shit with Eddie. Phillips says, stop playing Tonali ahead of Bruno. Tonali should be at the base of the midfield a la Pirlo.
Why? Because they're both Italian.
Well, I mean,
he's not Pirlo. He's a lot different. He's fast. He's physical. He's got different attributes. Just because he had long hair and can pass.
But but if he had the passing range of Pirlo, I wouldn't mind him sitting there just pinging the balls around, a la John Joe Shelby.
His long hair was legendary, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. I think it's difficult, isn't it? I mean, look, that to me doesn't look a bad side. But
I wouldn't mind seeing Sanusi play.
Happen.
I must be honest. People are saying, let's see Sanusi. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
I'd love to see Sanusi play, but I don't think he will.
Because you're asking a 16-year-old to do defensive cover for a 20-year-old on the left side against Mudryk.
So Alex, take Murphy out. Put Sanusi right.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Well, not much of this is probably going to happen. Let's be honest. He's probably just going to play the same old shit.
I get that. But if Sanusi's ever going to get minutes, it's going to be on the left, not on the right.
Well, he likes.
You know what Eddie Howe's like.
Yes, we do.
I'm putting Barnes.
I mean, listen. What about Alex Murphy? I mean, we're not talking about him. He's a decent centre back.
Was he in the youth squad? No, he wasn't. So he will presumably, unless he's injured, be in the match day squad. But yeah, again, you've got Lloyd Kelly waiting in the wings. He's not going to make 2 defensive changes. He's not going to do this, is he? Or that? That's just not going to happen. No, he's not going to do that. He's not going to make a double change as a left-sided centre back and the left back. Not a chance.
Well, we're joined by Alex's great friend and lover, Alan St. Maximan. He says Trevin needs to play.
Trevin will be on the bench, but if this left back and left-sided centre back, if that happens tomorrow, then I don't know. I feel like a forfeit is in order because that's not going to happen. It's just not.
Forfeit for who?
For me, because I'm so confident that that's not going to happen.
Oh, well, I'm with you.
Okay, that's fair enough.
I think you're right, though.
Yeah.
I don't really want to see it yet either. I'd like to see Alex Murphy start to be sort of, put into this team, but I don't think this is the right match for him because if our fan base can be pretty vicious at times.
Get away! No.
If a youngster makes one mistake, there'll be a small percentage of the fan base that will just go, he's not good enough. He's not good enough. Get rid of him straight away because he's made one mistake, which is not necessarily the truth.
Yeah, well, it happened with Hall, didn't it? It happens with every player that comes in. Well, we will see when the teams are announced at, 6:30 tomorrow, because it's a 1:45 kickoff, so the teams will be out at 6:30 tomorrow, an hour and a quarter before the game. Right, let's get our predictions in, and Billy, we'll start with you, matey.
Yeah, as I say, I think we need to win this game. I think we're going to be more hungry for it, or should be well up for this one. The crowd should be well up for it. I think we win the game 2-1.
Okay. And your scorers? I know it's not hard. It's not easy because we don't know who's going to play. But
I'd say Isaac and Bruno.
Okay, Alex.
I'm going to go for a 3-1 loss.
You just said you were confident earlier on in this show. Actually, no, you didn't.
I thought I said I'm not confident, didn't I?
Yeah. I'll let you off with that.
I think there's a slim chance if Chelsea make individual errors, but I just think with the rotations they've got too much. I think we will score one at least. And even though I've not put him in my starting lineup, I think Sean's going to score just because I think he will. It's the kind of game Sean scores in, isn't it?
Sean always, well, it's the Carabao Cup. He scores in that, doesn't he? Yeah. Shade Gaiman says, Paul, this is Eddie Howe's chance to start Asula and see what he can really bring to the squad. I agree with you. 100% agree. But I don't think you play.
It's too important.
Well, yeah, it is important. But, we're saying that, but Isak hasn't exactly set the world on fire. Yeah, anyway, my prediction is 2-2 and we win on penalties.
Oh, fuck me.
What, with Oddie in goal, yeah?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Who plays in goal for them Sato in your lineup? Because whoever it is,
it is Jorensson, who did start their previous.
Actually, for me, he's a better keeper than Sanchez. I honestly believe that. But Sanchez has got so many errors in him. It's. I mean, Chelsea fans, I don't know how they feel about him, but Jorensson for me is a really good goalkeeper.
He played against Panathinaikos, so he's there. Unless, again, I'm not super familiar with Chelsea's squad because there's been such a huge turnover. I don't know if they've got a different domestic cup keeper to European Cup to Prem. I don't know. You've got so many players. I'm guessing it's Jorensson, though, I would assume, for whoever Chelsea fans are still left in the chat.
Yeah. Jimmy Barr, thank you for your super chat, matey. 2-1 to the Toon, Barnes and Tonali and Stato. What, man? Hit the likes. Don't let stats downers stop you. How are the lads?
Hey, even Eddie talked about XG today in the press conference.
Yes,
he talked about our XG from set pieces is pretty good. So he had to reference it, but he said it's just not going in. And he did say some other things as well.
The XG fucking tournament, then we'll piss it.
Well, we're not very good in that at the moment either. So
we're scraping at straws here, guys. Come on, let's. However, let's just wait and see. But you can catch the game live with us tomorrow night. Live commentary of the game. We start at 7:15. We normally start Carabao Cups 15 minutes before the game, but as Billy said, it's a big game tomorrow. So we'll be on live from 7:15 with a 7:45 kickoff. We'll give you the team news and have a chat with you all before the game, how you're feeling ahead of it. And then, of course, play-by-play commentary from 7:45 live on the channel. We'll get, obviously, analysis from Mr. Stato as well. And hopefully celebrating a place in the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup. It's a huge game, so make sure you don't miss it. But thank you very much for watching tonight. Thank you for memberships and, of course, super chats. Mods, thank you. And, of course, thank you to Alex, Billy and Lady Sam. And, of course, the main thanks goes to you guys. Over 1,400 tonight on both platforms across X and YouTube. So thank you very much to everybody. Please do subscribe if you are new to the channel. And hopefully we will get very close to the big 33,000 within the next 24 hours. But we shall but see. But in the meantime, have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday night, guys. And we will see you tomorrow. Good night.
Anybody for polo?
Come back and check out some green.